In one of the biggest and most surprising moves of this offseason, Arkansas hired Bobby Petrino to return to Fayetteville as the offensive coordinator for the Razorbacks. Petrino, as we know, was the head coach at Arkansas from 2008 to 2011, leading the Hogs to a 34-17 record in his 4 years there, reaching number 3 in the polls in 2011, finishing in the top 5 in 2011, having a 21-5 record between 2010 and 2011 before ultimately his tenure there ending in tragedy, controversy, whatever you want to call it, in the offseason heading into the 2012 season. But they are now returning. Fayetteville is hyped for his return. But the question is, can Petrino save Arkansas? That's what we're here to talk about today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com. Tons of exclusive content over there to help you get through this offseason and to prepare you for this upcoming season. We want you to check that out. We want you to take advantage of that. We'd love for you to check out our mailing address as well to send us some of your team's gear to be represented in every single GE video. Already got a great hog helmet up here, but hey, never too much Arkansas. Can never get too much Arkansas. Can never get too much of whoever your team may be. We want to represent all of you from coast to coast, part of our GE Nation, right here on our channel. So send it there. Again, the links and the address all down in the description for you. So let's check this out, guys. I was stunned when Bobby Petrino was announced to come back to Fayetteville. I never thought I'd see the day. With the way things ended right before the 2012 season, a year where Arkansas had national title aspirations, and despite the loss of Petrino, still started that year ranked number 8 in the entire country. I never thought I'd see him come back. And then we saw, Petrino bounce around to Western Kentucky, and then back to Louisville, then fired from Louisville, then to Missouri State, and then took the offensive coordinator job at UNLV for like 2 days, and then went to Texas A&M. And all the while actually played Arkansas a handful of times over these last few years. Once as the head coach at Missouri State, nearly beating the Hogs in 2022, and then last year beating Arkansas as the offensive coordinator with Texas A&M. But he's now reunited with the Razorbacks, and some would say he has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, a chance at redemption with how he left the program back over 10 years ago. And Arkansas really has never been the same since the loss of Petrino. But to figure out if Bobby Petrino can save Arkansas and whether he can lead them back to a bowl game, lead them to a breakout year like we saw in 2010 and 2011, we have to go back to last season. The Razorbacks offense was by far one of the worst offenses in the country. It was one of the worst offenses to watch in the entire country. It was just downright pitiful. It was atrocious. Dan Enos, that experiment, that reunion did not work out. And I can tell you right now, I think the Bobby Petrino reunion is going to work out a lot better than the Dan Enos reunion that Sam Pittman tried to rekindle there. Look, the Razorbacks had KJ Jefferson, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the SEC. They had Rocket Sanders, who I know was never fully healthy, but they still had it. They had a solid wide receiver core, and yet Dan Enos came in and absolutely killed it. He crushed it. 105th in the country in passing, 187.5 passing yards per game. That's all the Hogs mustered. They were 86th in the nation in rushing, only 139 rushing yards per game. That's a downright atrocious number when you imagine and you remember what Sam Pittman wants to do. He wants to play bully ball. He wants to run the football. Finishing 86th in the country, that's not going to do much for you. 67th in the nation in scoring, 26.6 points per game. 105th overall on offense, 326.5 yards per game. The only SEC team they were better than was Vanderbilt. Not that much of an accomplishment there. The Hogs were only better than 10 other Power 5 schools when it came to overall offense. They could hardly gain a yard, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. You might as well just punt the ball because the Hogs weren't going to pick it up. They had 37 red zone attempts. They were held to a field goal or nothing on 14 of those red zone attempts. So 38% of those red zone attempts either resulted in a field goal or nothing at all. And it ultimately led to a 4-8 record for Arkansas. A major regression under Sam Pittman. So Petrino has now been tasked with coming in and completely revamping it, going back to a little bit more up-tempo, going back to slinging the football a little bit more. And it's rumored that Sam Pittman, unlike Jimbo Fisher, is willing to give Petrino full control of the offense. He's really not going to meddle much. He said, told Petrino, come in here, do your thing, get us back to winning. And he might be able to do that quicker than you think. You take a look at the Hogs, what they bring in. They added Taylon Green at quarterback. KJ Jefferson transferred out, goes to UCF to unite with a Another Hog and Gus Malzahn. Kind of interesting how the carousel works there. But Taylon Green transfers in from Boise State after throwing for over 3,700 yards and 25 touchdowns during his 2 seasons with the Broncos. Has also rushed for over 1,000 yards and 19 touchdowns with Boise State. So his dual threat ability is something that's going to work really well in Bobby Petrino's offense. Back when he was at Arkansas, he never really had a mobile quarterback. Relied on Tyler Wilson and Ryan Mallett. But at Louisville, had Lamar Jackson, and it worked out really well for him there. Are we saying Taylon Green's going to be Lamar Jackson and that the Hogs should expect flashes of that offense? No, not at all. But having a mobile quarterback in this age of college football is going to be massive for the Hogs. And Taylon Green, very, very good, and pretty much already named the starter in Fayetteville. Arkansas also went out and added Jaquindon Jackson, the running back from Utah, who rushed for 797 yards last year with the Utes, 4 touchdowns in his career, has over 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns. They returned 4 of their top 7 pass catchers. Andrew Armstrong, the leader from last year, is back, had over 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. They have Isaiah Satania coming back, and their star tight end, Luke Haas, he was a freshman last year, got injured, I believe, in that Texas A&M game. He's going to be back, hopefully fully healthy, was on track to have a phenomenal freshman year before it was cut short. He's going to be utilized very heavily in Bobby Petrino's offense. If you don't believe me, just go back and look at his olden days at Arkansas, utilizing those tight ends, namely DJ Williams, who ultimately won the Mackey Award back in, I believe, it was 2010. So this is an Arkansas offense, guys, that really has the pieces there, but can it all come together in year one? You've got solid pass catchers. You've got a somewhat veteran quarterback who has starting experience at a solid program in Boise State. Everything's there. The offensive line, Sam Pittman going to get a little bit more involved on that side, considering how bad the Hogs' offensive line was last year, but should see some major improvement with a new staff and, again, Pittman getting more involved. Could this result in really just 2 more wins for Arkansas? We're sitting here talking about the Razorbacks and Petrino. I will tell you this. It's a great pickup. It's a great hire. He's going to transform them. They're going to look 10 times better than they did under Danny Is. No doubt about that. But if you're Arkansas, do not expect Bobby Petrino to come in here and make this look like the 2010, 2011 Arkansas teams. The 2010 Arkansas team that won 10 games and went to the Sugar Bowl. The 2011 Arkansas team that finished 5th in the country with 11 wins and a win in the Cotton Bowl over Kansas State. Don't expect that this year. Arkansas, the ultimate goal for them needs to be get to a bowl game, get to 6, 7, maybe 8 wins, and that's probably pushing it considering the schedule and how tough it is. A schedule that includes road games at Oklahoma State, Auburn, and Missouri, and of course the neutral site game against Texas A&M. They do get to host Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas, and one thing that really benefits Arkansas here is between October 5th and the end of the season, between October 5th and November 30th, they only leave Fayetteville once before the season finale, I should say, against Missouri. So between October 5th and November 23rd, I guess I should say, they leave Fayetteville one time. That's a road game at Mississippi State. They get to play Tennessee at home. They play LSU at home. They have a couple bye weeks in there. They get Ole Miss at home. They get Texas at home. It's a big, big schedule. It's very tough games. Teams that also on paper are significantly better than Arkansas, and teams that are probably going to be favored to beat the Hogs. But if the Arkansas offense can turn things around, maybe they can hang with LSU. Maybe they can hang with Tennessee. Maybe they can hang with Ole Miss, teams that we expect and we know are going to have elite offenses. If you go back and look at Arkansas last year, the defense wasn't really the issue. The defense did their job. They held their opponents in check, but eventually they got worn down because the offense couldn't sustain drives. They couldn't do their job, and the defense could only hold on for so long. But if you have an offense now that knows how to put up points, that knows how to sustain drives, that knows how to help out your defense, especially when they do their job, maybe the sky is the limit for Arkansas. Again, a bowl game should be the expectation in Fayetteville. Can Bobby Petrino save Arkansas? I will say yes, but the caveat is it's not going to be the saving that you think it's going to be. It's going to be maybe getting the Hogs to 6 or 7 or 8 wins. And honestly, that would be quite the saving. That would once again redeem Bobby Petrino. After the horrible year that Arkansas had in 2023, a solid winning season with a bowl berth and a significantly better offense, well outside of the cellar where they were 105th last year, that would be a job well done and a very successful season that Bobby Petrino once again returns to Fayetteville. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. All that stuff is there for you to become a member of our GE Nation. Leave your thoughts on the Hogs down in the comments as we inch closer and closer to prediction season. That'll be here before you know it. But until, guys, we want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.